James for the flowers. The check is in the mail. As all of us know here, if we were listening to the last couple of presentations, it's going essentially about the money. And I understand it's a lot of money that we're asking for, and I understand that we were in a very similar situation about 2 years ago when a very strong lobby has kind of killed our plans to get Arkansas the well-deserved trauma system 2 years ago. It seems like we're taking on this time around not a lobby that's any weaker than the one that we were dealing with. So I'd like to hear how you assess the chances of the bill to get through this time. Thank you.
I don't know, maybe those questions are better addressed to our legislative colleagues. I don't know. I would say that, I mean, my opinion is that I think we've made significant progress in being able to describe the need, to describe the situation, to describe, you know, sort of what needs to be fixed, and I think that I know that even in the last session there were almost all of our legislators were in favor of doing this. It really came down to exactly what kind of funding mechanism, and certainly if you've read the newspapers and watched the television recently, a particular funding mechanism has been proposed, and it will, I think, just like any sort of tax issue, it will be difficult, and for our legislators, those decisions, I think, will be difficult. But you know, when you look at the need, it is certainly something that we really need to fix. If we wait 2 more years, you know, it's another 800 people who will die unnecessarily. I mean, that's really the bottom line, is preventable death and preventable disability. And there really is urgency in fixing this, in my view. Others?
No, I agree, and when Dr. Grunwald was the chair 2 years ago, we worked really hard on getting this bill, and we actually talked about funding mechanisms within the council at that point. We looked at the way these systems were funded in various other states, and we came up with an idea that we thought was great with moving violations, DWIs, because there's usually not a strong pro-DWI lobby out there. It sailed right through the House, and then it hit the Senate, and we found out we were naive. That funding mechanism would compromise the funding stream for the municipalities and the state governments, and it got shot down. So honestly, we as a council have not talked about how we were going to fund this time. Or I haven't been present for those discussions.
No, that's right. We
left that to the politicians.
We've concentrated our efforts on, I mean, we have compiled lists of ways that these things are funded in other states. It's an amazingly long list. I mean, states have struggled with this problem. I mean, some states do it with, you know, cell phone things, and some states do it with car tags. That's not a really popular idea in Arkansas. People still remember Bill Clinton and his trouble when he was credited for raising car tag fees. So we have certainly compiled those lists and provided them to our legislative colleagues and so forth. But yeah, I mean, ultimately the decision about exactly the funding stream, I think, is a legislative decision.
As we have gone around to different places, though, and done this same sort of thing, I think support is pretty well universal. I think the representatives and senators that we have seen are very much in favor of the system, and they seem to me to be saying, we will find a funding mechanism. And I think from the paper this week, we've seen Governor Beebe and Senator Johnson and Representative Wills kind of make a commitment to get this done financially. So I think there's a much more of a commitment going into the session than we had 2 years ago. So I believe that it will get through.
Other